CATIA V5. Currently, I'm within Human Builder Workbench, and we're gonna take a look at Manikin Hand Grasp. If you don't have this enabled over here, you can right click, and you're gonna find the Manikin Hand Grasp over here. So to get started, initially I will create a mannequin. I will say product 1, create the first mannequin over here. Now I will need some objects that the mannequin should pick. So we are going to create initially a spherical model over here. To do that, I will go over here, insert new part. I will double click on part 1. This will take me to part design. If for some reason you are not within part design after you double click on this, you can just go start mechanical design, part design, and this should take you to part design. Now I will highlight the plane over here, so the X and Y should be fine. I will create a new sketch, and I will create a circle over here. A radius, I will add this to be 30. And since I want to define a sphere, I will also create an axis. I can put that axis to be coincident with the circle center. And afterwards, using the trim tool, I will delete half of that. And with the resulting sketch, I will create the following model over here. Now I will move this to be a little bit closer to the hand of the mannequin, so I will double click on product 1. This should take me into the human workbench. I will enable this to snap automatically to selected objects, and I will select the part 2. We're gonna see that the compass will snap to the origin, but that shouldn't be any problem because we can still manipulate the object. Okay, so let's see how we can use the hand spherical posture. Before we're gonna use that, I should also position the mannequin within the reach. We can do that over here. We have a reach position only, and we're gonna have reach position and orientation. But before I will activate that, I will go within inverse kinematic behaviors. And for the case study mannequin, I want this to have a spine and lumbar support over here. So that means let's just see the difference really fast. So if I will go with inverse kinematic with this hand, I want to grab that. We're gonna see that now the character will move like this. So we see the reach. If I will move all the way to sides, we're gonna see that the torso of the character will not move. So I will undo that. I will go to inverse kinematics. And I also had thoracic over here enabled because by default, if you don't have that, the character will move the hand like this. So as you can see, just the hand from the shoulder is moving up and down according to the desired location, but the torso is not moving. So I will undo that, and I will enable for the character thoracic and lumbar spine. I will also check balance pelvic motion, and I will also want the character to look at the object that will grab. So in this case, that sphere. So look at active, and this should be the changes to the inverse kinematic behavior. And afterwards, let's do that positioning. So I will click over here on reach position only. Now on the surface of the object, I can select the location. So for example, I want over there. And now I will need to select the hand. So I will select the surface from the palm interior. And we're gonna see how that moved into position. And now I will also add this to the hand spherical grip. As we can see over here, the hand will be positioned like this. So it will be with green. Now we're gonna have the twin, which is the yellow one, which will also indicate the out of reach section. But you can just manipulate this. So for example, maybe I want to position this underneath that sphere. If I want to also close the fingers, I can do that. I can also go over here and execute auto grasp, and the software will try to find the ideal position. So we see that in this case, we have two fingers overlapped over here. We can just change those. So forward kinematics for this finger, I will right click, and for the other one, I will change the abduction, adduction, and I will move that so they won't be overlapped. And also for this finger, so maybe somewhere over here, I see that this rotation is quite snappy, so I will just move it like this. Okay, so we're gonna see that the mannequin will grasp that. So with the execute auto grasp for the spherical shape over there. Now, if we want to attach this to the mannequin, we can do that using the attach detach button. So I will select, we see over here, we are indicated to select the segment. So will be that one. And we're going to see that part 1, which is the name of the new part, will be attached to the segment left hand. And I can click OK. And now if I will start the inverse kinematic forward, we're going to see how that character will move the hand. We're going to see that in this case, the grasp is no longer over there, but we can always compute that, that grasp. Let's see. Okay, if I will disable that and I will choose again hand spherical posture and I will select the hand, I see that for some reason it doesn't want to grasp that anymore. So let's retry that. So within the product, spherical pose for that part with this hand. Okay, I will just move the hand, or we can also use another technique. If I will right click over here, we're gonna see the posture over here, but I will go within the posturator. And you're gonna see we're gonna have the hand over here. So we have the side. I will just reset this. Let's see if the grasping will work now. So it still doesn't want to compute that grasp. Okay, so now again we have that grasp done. Let's see if I will use the forward kinematics now. We're gonna see that the forward kinematic button will not unlock that grasp. But if I will go with inverse kinematic worker frame, but I will go with segment in this case, and let's take a look for the hand. We're gonna see that the inverse kinematic models over here, so both of those, the inverse kinematic worker framework and the segment framework will close that that grasp. So keep that in mind, that you should go with forward kinematics, as that will also keep the position of the hand. Now let's see, for the other grasp, this will be a cylindrical. I will create a new part. So I'll go over here, create. I want a new part. This should be part 2. I don't want to specify a new origin. And within the X and Y plane, I will double click on part 2 to go to part design. And over here, I will create again a circle. I will add a radius to be, for example, 40. And now I will have this extrude for 20 millimeters, 200 millimeters. Okay, so in order to reposition that, this should be within the grasp of the mannequin, but I will just snap that and I will move it a little bit higher. Now, let's see how the cylindrical grasp posture will work. Will be the same, just like the sphere. We're gonna select the tool. Afterwards, we're gonna select, we see over here on the left side of the screen, select hands or activate execute objects. And hands must be selected. So I want this hand to go over there. And we're gonna see how it went into that cylindrical. Okay. Now we just need to adjust maybe a little bit from the inverse kinematics. I will slightly move the hand. So like that. I can also always go within the top view because that will give me a better view. So top view should be that one. And over here I have the possibility to better fit this within the mannequin hand. We're gonna see that currently now this snaps from 0 to 10. In order to change that, we can edit this. And we see over here the increments. If I will add 1 over here for each, now if I will move the compass, this will always go according to those increments. So we see it will only add 1 millimeter. So it will be a lot better to position the mannequin hand. We can later adjust the grasp of this. So using the inverse, the forward kinematics over here, I'm gonna position the fingers of the mannequin to that cylinder. Keep in mind that you will have to do that. If you want to change, you can change the second degree of freedom. For example, for this one, we're only gonna have 1 degree of freedom, but for this one, we're also gonna have the radial deviation. And let's see, the radial deviation will allow me to go up and down with the finger. And afterwards, I just want this to go a little bit back, so somewhere like this. And again, if you want to grab that, we can just select the detach. Afterwards, I will select the object, and I want to attach this again to the hand. We're going to see that part 2 will be attached to the right hand. We can click OK, and we are going to have that. Now, if you want to detach one of the components, you can use the same function over here. So attach, detach. You're going to select the object. And over here, we can either detach it or we can attach it to another object. So with a simple detach, this will be successfully detached. That means if I will move the hand, that won't move anymore. But let's see also how we can detach it to a different. So I will press undo multiple times until this will still be connected. So like this. And I will add a new mannequin over here. So go to product 1, insert new mannequin. Let's create a woman now. So go OK. We're gonna have the second mannequin over here. I want to move this in front of that. As you can see over here, the increment for rotation is currently set to 5 because I have that over here on the W axis. You can right click on the compass and you can change that if you want smoother and finer rotations. I see that this changed, so I'm just gonna go over here 0 and apply. You can also put directly the absolute values either for the location and for the rotation, just like I did over here, in order to position your mannequins. Now let's say that we want that sphere to be grabbed by the second mannequin over here. We can go with the reach position over here, or we can go with position orientation, but usually this will rotate the arm a little bit odd. So let's take a look at that. I want to position the hand of the second mannequin over here at the top, and I want at the top to have this palm. And we're gonna see how that will look. Over here we can now compute, in this case, a spherical posture. We can see that didn't go in the desired location. So I will just move this manually over here. So we're gonna have those fingers. I will just slightly position. We're gonna have a lot of collisions over here. This why I also appreciate the fact that Dassault decided to implement this, because other CAD solutions don't want to deal with mannequins and posture like this, because it's not the simplest, let's say, thing to do the inverse kinematic simulations. Let's just move this hand. Okay, I see that that is no longer attached. So let me just attach that. I see that I also moved the hand a little bit too much. Attach to the hand. Okay. And afterwards I will just move that. Okay, I see that for some reason that didn't attach over there. So let's do it again. I want this to be attached to the hand. Click OK. And afterwards, let's just go with forward kinematics. Yeah, that should work. And I will just move that cylinder over there. Now I want to attach the sphere to the other mannequin over here. So I will go and define attach detach. I want this one. And we see over here attached to other. And I will select the female hand, so the mannequin 2. And now if I will move initially the hand of this one, that shouldn't be okay. So we had that moved. Keep in mind that for each section you're gonna have abduction and adduction over here, and you can slightly adjust that. And now I have the possibility to manipulate the other mannequin. Keep in mind that you can also have all of these animated over here. So we have the functionality to do mannequin animations. We see also that hand. I will just move that like that. Okay, and for the last case study, which will be hand pinch posture over here, I will go within assembly design, because I want to access the catalog from CATIA, which will be over here. So catalog browser. And this should be the catalog browser. I will add a screw. I will double click on the screw. Let's see. This will be the type, and I want a larger one, so maybe M10 with 60, this one, but I need to select it at the top. So metric 10, let's go a little bit lower into the list, and with 60 for the length. This will be that. I will double click it, and we're gonna have that added within our scene. I can just click OK over here, or I could do some constraints over here using the constraint, but I will just click OK and I will move it manually. We have it within the origin. I will move it towards the hand of the second mannequin over here. Okay, I will also have that rotated. I see that the increment doesn't want to rotate. Sorry, so I will just add over here some 3 degrees. And that should rotate now from using that increment. Okay, so we have that. I still need to position it a little bit closer to the second mannequin so that it will be able to grab it. Okay, so we have it over here. Now let's check the the pinch grabbing pose. So I'll go over here, ergonomics, human builder. I will just move a little bit the tree, because this ISO screw from the catalog has quite a long name over here. I will just delete some of that because it's overlapping the viewport. And we see that within CATIA, it will also be within the part number at the bottom. So have that also changed. And we're gonna do the pinch pose. I'm gonna select the hand. So this went into a pinch pose. And we can execute an auto grab for that one. Let's see. Okay, so we have that. And all we have to do now is position the hand a little bit better. So using the inverse kinematics, something like this. Now it depends on how exactly you want to pinch that. We can do between the large finger and the index finger over here. Again, we can slightly adjust those. So let's say that the pinching is done over here using those two fingers, that one and this one. And yeah, we can now just attach that, for example, to the finger. We can do an attachment like that. Object. Okay. I will save the hand because I saw that in this case the finger wasn't a correct option. So we can now start and move this around. Okay, so I see that this video is already 21 minutes. So we're gonna stop over here. Mainly we discuss over here the mannequin hand grasping for various shapes. So spherical, cylindrical, also pinching, where we mostly gonna use two fingers. So I hope that you find this video useful. I will position a similar video over here to the left. I will add the CATIA V5 tips and tricks to the top, and I will also add a subscribe button. So I hope that you find this video useful. So thanks for watching.